Greetings all, this is Precious, the New Jamaican, and welcome to my channel. First, let me thank all of my subscribers for your love and support. It is a great encouragement, so keep it coming. And to those of you who are new to this channel, welcome and please subscribe. It has been a while since I uploaded any new content, so it is really difficult preparing to leave while still working a full-time job, but that part of my life is soon over and a sister can hardly wait. Anywho, I wanted to follow up with you on where we are with our move and our transition. Remember, in my last video, I made a few necessary calls. I called the Passport, Immigration, and Citizenship Agency, the Tax Administration Jamaica, the National Land Agency, and the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. If you've not watched that video and my others, please go back and do so. I provide some useful tips and I let you listen in on my calls to those agencies. So here's just a follow-up on those calls. Now, my call to the MLSS was a bust and I have not tried to call them again. I'll just deal with them when I get to Jamaica. As for my call with PICA, well, I did not make another call to PICA either. They did not call me back as they said they would, nor did they email me as they said they would when I had previous conversations with them. So I think I would just deal with them when I make it to the island and see what happens then. Regarding my call to the National Land Agency, true to her word, after providing her with verifiable information, within about 30 days, actually it was less than 30 days, their records as well as the TAJ's website's records reflected Raymond and I as the proper owners of our land. A couple of things though. When we purchased our land, our attorney contacted all necessary agencies, JPS, the National Water Commission, or whatever it's called in Portland, and the National Land Agency, informing them that we are the new owners and asking them to kindly change their records to reflect that. Now, obviously, that did not happen. You know, another thing is we were told by someone at one of the tax offices that this change could only be made in person and at the tax office. Now, obviously, that was wrong. Whatever is done is over. Check, marked off the list. Now, regarding my call to the TAJ, the rep confirmed that the property taxes are due on April 1st. Well, that actually led me to believe that I could pay them immediately because, you know, they're due on April 1st. And that wasn't actually the case. When I tried to go on the TAJ website and pay online, the site only showed the previous tax years. That was cool. I just kept checking back until the current tax year was available, which was about the last week in March. So I paid it then. Speaking of paying online, which I encourage you to do, and with COVID, and so does the government, the TAJ site is very, very user-friendly. All you have to do is log in or create a login if you do not have one, and click the e-services link, which is located at the top of the screen, and this will take you to all services that you can handle electronically with the TAJ. You would then go to the Pay Property Taxes section. At that point, you would enter the valuation on strata numbers. Now, these numbers are identifying numbers of your particular property, and that info is located on your last receipt. Now, if you are a new homeowner or property owner, your attorney will provide that number or the previous owner will have it. Now, if of course you are using an attorney for your real estate needs, which you should be doing, and there are property taxes that are due, this will be handled during the purchase process, and you will have the valuation and strata number for the next tax period. But back to the site. After entering the valuation and strata numbers, you will enter the tax period that you are paying. You will then click the Show Amount Due button, and the amount owed will show. Of course, if no taxes are owed, a zero balance will show. Another really cool thing about the site is if you own more than one property, you can pay them in one visit to the site. After getting the amount owed for the current property tax season, you will have the option to add another property and repeat those steps. You will then input the name and the tax registration number of the individual paying the taxes. Now, of course, earlier I did a video on getting a tax registration number, TRN, so go back and watch that video if you've not done so. At this point, you would put in your payment information, credit card, debit card. There's another way of paying, it's bank key card. I can't think of it. Could say. As an aside, in Jamaica, unlike stateside, and I'm assuming Canada, UK, wherever, you cannot pay some things with a debit card, even if that card has a Visa or MasterCard logo. But thankfully, this is not the case with the TAJ. The TAJ does accept debit cards with the Visa and MasterCard logo on it for payment. Now, I only mentioned that, well, because I thought of it. I know that IGL is one of those companies who do not accept debit cards, even ones with Visa or MasterCard logos on them. You must pay them either with cash, if you're paying in person, a credit card, or a bank wire. And I want to say they also accept that other form of payment that for some reason is just, it eludes me. I can't think of it. Cose. But in case you're wondering, IGL is the company who has cooking gas. They also are the sole company in Jamaica who produces oxygen for medical facilities. And because of COVID, oxygen is in such high demand on the island that hospitals have been running out of oxygen. So that's been a bit of an issue. But I digress. Now, don't get confused on this. Just because you must enter the name or the TRN of the individual who is paying the property taxes, you cannot just start paying property taxes on some property and now you own it, because that's not true. I know there are some lands that the owners are behind, very behind on the property taxes. And I've heard people say that if you can prove that you paid the property taxes on a piece of land for several years, like 10 years or so, that you own it. No, that's not exactly true. That is not how you take possession of land. I would direct you to a real estate attorney who can properly guide you in that respect. I just wanted to point that out. Now, up until this year, you are only able to pay your property taxes as well as income taxes or whatever in person or on the TAJ website. Now, if you have an NCB bank account, you can pay them through your bank account. And as you all know, I'm a big fan of online platforms for payment of any bills, so of course I'm going to mention this. Now, the only downside that I can see is if you own more than one property. So this is for all of you ballers out there with several properties all over the place. In that case, if you're paying through NCB, you will need to add the Tax Administration Jamaica as a payee for each property that you own. There is no add another property option. It's a little clunky to me, but Anyways, if it works, if you don't mind adding them multiple times, so long as it gets done. So the way it will work is if you own some property in Kingston and you own some property in, say, Westmoreland, on another piece of property in Portland, you would have to put, like, in order to make it easy for you, the TAJ dash Kingston, TAJ dash Westmoreland each time for each property. Like I say, it's clunky, but so long as they get done, they get paid, whatever. But I would really suggest, if you own more than one property, go ahead and pay your property taxes through the TAJ website. If you own just one and you have an NCB account, you have some options. Now, moving on to our move. We're still working our jobs and we'll be leaving them shortly. And until that time, we can't really completely pack up everything, and nor can we devote all of our time to our move. And I am counting the days when we're able to do that. I have a couple of shippers that I need to contact, and we reached out to some family members actually, who were able to recommend a couple of shippers. And I mean, I guess I could call anyone to find out what the procedures are, but I wanted to potentially use a shipper who came recommended. So I will let you know how that turns out for us. We are also in the process of purchasing items to ship. And this is actually different from when we moved to Ghana. We shipped what we currently owned. We no longer own those things. We left them all in Ghana upon our return to the States. Now, that said, we are starting from scratch. And we can either purchase items when we get to Jamaica or ship them in. But for what we want, we believe it may be more cost effective to purchase some large or hard to find items stateside than to purchase them in Jamaica. You know, usually certain items can cost more in Jamaica than they do here. Remember, they are shipping those items in and they need to recoup their costs. So they cost more to sell them to the public. And typically, you will have to pay duties on your shipment. But since we are returnees, we will not be charged a duty on most items. Now, this is, of course, an effort by the Jamaican government to encourage people to return home. And charging a duty on bringing in a household would be almost like punishment. Now, Jamaica Customs has a full list of what you are allowed to bring in duty free and how many of those items you can bring in. Now, we are bringing in a household, but that doesn't mean we can bring in like stuff for 2 or 3 households. So they have a complete list of what you can bring in and how much of those items you can bring in. Like, for an example, you can bring in 2 fans. They could be 2 ceiling fans, or 2 floor fans, or 1 ceiling fan and 1 floor fan. But bringing in 3, you're going to pay duties on one of them, and I'm assuming it's going to be the more expensive or the larger of the items. Or, for example, like, say for a bed, you can bring in either 1 king size bed or 1 queen size bed. And in addition to the king or queen, you can bring in 2 full beds or 4 single beds, or, you know, something like that. It's very, very specific. Now, how strictly they follow that, we'll find out. And we realize we are going to have to pay duties on some things. It is what it is, you know, whatever. We were actually told to, you know, before you ship anything in, go to the port, get friendly with the manager, and things will run really smoothly from there. I mean, I guess that's true. I mean, I don't know. I like a good hookup as well as the next person, but I just would rather do things right. Heck, we could probably end up getting friendly with the person who's not even on duty when we ship our items in. It's not worth it. I just want to do things right and move on with my life. But at any rate, I'm going to bring you all along as much as I'm able to on that part of our journey. So you'll see what happens. Well, that's actually it. I just wanted to keep you posted, let you know that things are moving along and that we are pushing forward, and we are really excited about this. And I hope that our excitement would encourage you out there to make this journey for yourself. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. Please give this video a thumbs up, leave any comments down below, and feel free to share. Also, please remember to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so that you will know every time I upload a new video. If you've not done so, please go back and give my other videos a watch, a like, a comment, and share them as well. I'm signing off for now. Love, joy, health to you. And until we meet again, stay conscious and stay connected. Peace.